In the Isle, the rules of survival reign supreme. Strength alone isn't a guarantee of survival. You learn fast that the night doesn't forgive mistakes. You learn fast that you're either the hunter or the hunted. Every sound you hear could be your last. Every movement in the shadows could be the end of you. You can't afford to hesitate. You can't afford to rush. And sometimes, you're just not fast enough. Out here, time is a luxury. The Isle is unforgiving. And the only thing that keeps you alive is knowing when to strike and when to hide. The Troodon is unmatched in its cunning, a predator built not for brute force, but for the mind. Quick, agile, and always calculating. But living in the shadows isn't easy, and survival requires more than just intelligence. So we step into the shadows to see the world as it truly is, through the eyes of a lone Troodon.
So we begin again.
We were born out in the northern jungle of Gateway, a tiny predator alone in a vicious world. As a hatchling Troodon, there wasn't much we were able to hunt. We'd most likely need to steal our first substantial meal. We followed the scent of sanctuary and found ourselves at a small pond in the middle of the forest. The soft croak of a frog called out to us, its sound cutting through the jungle stillness. Our first hunt had begun. The little creature was quick, darting through the undergrowth and up onto the rocks with surprising agility, but we would prove to be quicker. Though this meager prey would do nothing to further our growth, it would fill our bellies just enough to stave off death in these fragile early days. Survival was our only goal. With our hunger sated, we retreated to the safety of our stone nook, watching as the light faded and the night blanketed the sky. The night was calm and our rest undisturbed, but fully recovered, it was time to hunt again. Into the jungle's tangled embrace we crept, a shadow among shadows, seeking both sustenance and trouble. And soon, we found more than we had hoped for. Ahead, a deadly skirmish unfolded. A raptor pack, relentless and coordinated, set upon a young Ceratosaurus. The air was thick with tension and bloodlust. The Sera fought valiantly, but the pack's numbers were too great. It was only a matter of time before the beast fell. We circled the chaos, moving with care and precision, seeking the right moment to claim our prize. But a second Sera passed nearby, and the pack's alertness kept us at bay. The first drops of rain kissed the jungle's canopy. Using the cover of the storm, we slipped away into the night, following the faint trail of distant carrion, desperate to find our next meal. What lay at the end of the scent trail was a fresh, unguarded dinner, a young Herrerasaurus who met an early fate. For us, those nutrients would boost our growth significantly, and likely carry us into our sub-adult life. We shared our meal with a young Troodon who wanted to group up, but we kindly ignored him. We had a better chance of survival alone, without another to draw too much attention to us. It wouldn't be long until the scent of the dead drew the noses of the nearby Omnipack. We took off under the guise of night before they noticed us, and kept running until we finally broke the forest edge. We came out at water access, a huge lake with a giant dam that stretched on forever. There, we accidentally found ourselves on the giving end of a spontaneous ambush. In the heat of battle, pounced by prey, claws slash and teeth snap as we clash with the Omni. A sudden pounce caught us off guard, and for a moment, defeat seemed certain. But at the final heartbeat, we reversed our fortunes.
We got him. Oh shit, I need to sit down. I forgot how bad their bleed is. Ooh, that bleed is bad. I might die here. I shouldn't. Come on. Come on. Don't bleed out. Don't bleed out. No. No. Come on. I can't look. Oh! Oh! Oh, that is too close! No! Oh! Oh! Okay. We were literally moments away from dying. I can't believe that. That's incredible. Good fight, little Omni. Good fight.
Had that little Omni held his pounce just a few moments more, or had we taken an extra bite of food before we sat down, and this story may have ended here. Instead, we sit victorious on the eve of battle, surviving what could possibly be the closest we've ever come to death, while remaining in the land of the living. We engorged ourselves on the spoils of our victory, and rested among the high grass to heal off our injuries. We could only hope that no one would wander by and notice us. The rains coming down were a boon for us. Because of our mutation, Reabsorbtion, we were able to absorb water when it was raining. Essentially, we learned to tilt our head back and open our mouths during rainstorms. A very useful evolutionary trait. With time, our meal decayed, and our wounds mended. We set out towards our next destination, following a trail across the dam and up the hills to the highlands. Upon reaching the highlands, we had matured into a fully grown Troodon, a testament to our survival and adaptability. There, we'd be able to use the abundance of foliage to conduct our ambushes, and it wouldn't be long until we spotted our first victim. In the distance, two diablos prowled along the water's edge, their movements deliberate, drawing ever closer to our position. We managed to hunt our targets successfully, and now we would have more than enough food to sustain us for the foreseeable future. We'd make our home among the underbrush near the body, and eat freely till our stomachs were bursting. We relaxed in our hidden den and enjoyed the rays of early morning light glistening on the mist atop the mountainsides, while the calls of the local fauna resonated across the lake. The smell of our prize soon brought in a guest, a tiny little Troodon looking for an easy meal. We donated the extra body to the little guy and let him eat until his heart was content. It wasn't until late that night when the food had finally rotted and we had need to hunt again. We headed out into the darkness around the lake and investigated the calls we heard. What we found was a pack of Carnos and a diablosaurus. We weren't sure who was hunting who. Before we could make a decision about what to do, the server announced a server restart, and we decided just to find a safe place to log off, and we try again later. When we did log back on, we were greeted with a free meal, courtesy of a rather large stego moving through the area. But we weren't the only ones who noticed it. When we finally thought we were alone, we tried to rip into the body, only to be surprised by another visitor. Thankfully, the Omni had chosen the free meal over a fight. With our stomachs filled, it was time to return ourselves to an optimal position for our next hunt. The fields of the highlands were as busy as ever, too.
3? 4 of them. 5 of them?
5 dilos running around in the dark of the storm, looking for their next meal.
Ooh. Okay, I'm glad I didn't attack, I guess. That's a pretty big pack. We're not trying to 5v1 here. That's too much.
As the storm's fury finally abated, a new scent drifted through our territory. A Herrera had encroached upon our hunting grounds. We moved to confront the intruder, but he reached the safety of a sturdy tree before we could strike, gaining a strategic advantage. Recognizing the futility of pressing the attack, we chose to relinquish this area, seeking a new domain to call our own.
What's that coming through?
In our path stood a diablosaurus, stopping suddenly in front of our grass patch, leading us to believe he knew something lingered within. When he started to charge, we didn't take any chances. We sprinted out of his way and continued on our way through the looming cavern. On the walls of the cave, we spotted a Herrera. We stopped for a moment to take it all in. But then, someone else suddenly appeared out of the unknown. We managed to escape the jaws of death, but only just barely. We failed to land the surprise attack because of our rocky footing, and ended up taking a huge fall when we missed our landing, jumping from ledge to ledge. We were lucky we didn't break our legs, and we were lucky the Omni released his pounce early. All things considered, we could have won that fight had we not been mentally stuck in a prey mind state, running for our lives. We rested amongst the foliage until our wounds from our engagement healed, and then we made our way through the new untraveled lands. Our travels brought us through fields and forests and then fields again. We came out to a small pond on the hillside, which seemed to be brimming with life. We would call this our home for the time being, and made ourselves comfortable in the underbrush. When patience and preparation come together, opportunity comes knocking at your door. When the Dilos suddenly abandoned the fight and ran away, we had a bad feeling in our gut. We trusted our intuition and ceased to chase. We watched from atop hillside as our answer became all too abundantly clear. You had many friends in low places.
Oh, that's a big pack of them. 1, 2, 3. I can't even count them. It's a lot.
We had apparently wandered right into Dilo territory. A humongous pack of 8 Dilos marched right up to where we assaulted their friend. and proceeded to claim it as their own, a show of might and dominance.
Eight diamonds.
Our nerves were shot, and we couldn't take it anymore. The moment we saw an opening, we bolted, putting some solid ground between us and the pack. But hunger still clawed at our stomachs. And that's when we saw it, a potential meal ripe for the taking.
There's multiple hairs there. How many dilos are in this place? Oh my gosh.
We found a position on the other side of the lake, and watched and waited as the 3 new dilos moved in to get a drink. Fortunately for us, 2 of them were faster than the 3rd, and the weakest link presented us the perfect opportunity. Apparently his friends didn't hear the commotion, as nobody came to this young Dilo's rescue. We'd need to eat fast and hide away again, as the smell of our fresh kill was sure to bring in some company in this populated area. Turns out, the Hera pack had watched the whole thing. One of the youngest came first. And then soon after, his whole pack made claim to my kill.
Yeah. Enjoy my food. Guess they let me get my fill first. Is that 5 hairs now? First we see an 8-pack of Dilo, then we see a 5-pack of Hera.
With the packs gone, we took our fill of the fresh water, topped off our bellies from the carcass, and then headed out to find a new hunting ground. This area had proven to be just a bit too overpopulated with large groups, and we wanted to find something a little more quiet. What we found was a calm piece of serenity, nestled around a quiet little lake. This seemed like the perfect place to call home for the foreseeable future. And it wouldn't be long until our first hunt wandered right into our path. One failed pounce, 2 failed pounce. 3 failed pounces. Latency issues unnerved us, but ultimately we stopped short and met the barreling end of fate headfirst. The place we called paradise would forever be our tomb.
So we begin again.
The Isle is a brutal and unforgiving place, but it's moments like these, the triumphs, the struggles, and even the failures, that make the journey unforgettable. Thank you for being part of this story. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next adventure.